So getting into the question. Does this look familiar? Wait for it. It's coming. One more second. There we go. So as we just saw, slow plots lead to a bad user experience. I'm Ryszard Szymański. I'm an machine developer at Epsilon, and this is my worst nightmare. So bottlenecks can occur in different parts of the process, which are, you first start with data preparation. So let's say you fetch data from your database. You do some aggregations before you start working on your plot. Then you define your plot in R using your favorite library, like, I don't know, Plotly or eCharts for R. And later on, all of the plot-related data and settings get sent to the browser where your plots get rendered. And what I've discovered that there are three main root causes of bottlenecks happening in the plot rendering process. The first one being an inefficient data preparation process. So let's say you want to visualize your home budget data, and you want to visualize it in form of a box plot. This is how you would go about it in Plotly. And it makes it super convenient to do in R. So you plug in your data set, you pick your variable, and you pick your plot type. But let's focus on our first line right here. So how do we prepare the data? So that code here might work very well for small data. Let's say you just have a couple of rows. But as your data gets bigger, you're essentially fetching all of your data sets, all of your data set into the memory of your process just to create a box plot. So if you have a million of rows in the database, that can be pretty inefficient. But let's go back to our box plot. To plot a box plot, you just need 5 values. The minimum value, the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum value. So what if instead, fetching millions of rows, you would just calculate those 5 values on the database side and plug it into your Plotly function like this? Sometimes we also try to show too much, and it can manifest itself in different ways. For example, let's go back to our millions of points. And let's say we're using a scatter plot to visualize it. Rendering millions of points can take a while. Perhaps you can convey the same type of information using a different plot. Again, let's go back to the example of the box plot, where you can just fetch 5 values and show perhaps the similar information you want to convey. Also, when you're creating a dashboard, it might be very tempting to put a lot of plots on in your dashboard. But reality is, users rarely are able to focus on all of them at once. And rendering 6 plots might take a while, so why not instead just show one plot and provide controls for your users to switch between each type of plot to make it faster. We sometimes also use our plotting libraries inefficiently. So a lot of libraries provide convenience functions like 2WebGL in Plotly or boost mode in HighCharter, which leverage a technology called WebGL, which makes use of your GPU to render your plot in the browser faster. And in some cases, there are some available options, like, for example, the HighCharter RJSON option in the HighCharter package. And HighCharter by default uses a package called JSON Lite to prepare data and settings for the browser. And as your data gets larger, it can get a bit slow. And RJSON is a bit more efficient. And some users have reported a 25x speed increase while switching to RJSON. All right, thank you. That will be it for me. And if you have any question, you can post them on the slide deck that's been mentioned. Or if you want to talk to me, you can find me at the Epsilon booth.